Hello, have you ever wondered how to plant trees in farming similar to 22, or to plant different kinds of trees in farming similar to 22, or the different ways to plant trees in farming similar to 22? If so, stick around. I'm going to show you all those things here in just a couple of minutes. Okay, the first category, if you want to really get into forestry and plant trees in a field and have a bunch of trees to harvest, you're going to need a gizmo like this. Let me show you in the menu real quick. All right, go down to Forestry Equipment and go over until you see this thing. The Damcon PL75 costs $26,000. You need 120 horsepower to pull it, and it plants a couple of different kinds of trees. Well, you can either plant trees or poplar. So you click on that with the right joystick, and it's going to show you the other things that go with that, including tree saplings or poplar. Poplar is a whole nother video. I'll put a card up so you can see that. Tree sapling is what we're talking about today. Okay, so we're going to click on that, and we're going to buy that. Okay, let's hook our tractor to this, and we're going to load it. Oops, carried away, too hard. Okay, I'm going to pull up here and load these tree saplings. I don't know why I can't say that. Okay, just pull up beside it, hit the left joystick on console, or if you're playing PC with a controller. All right, now I'm going to show you how to plant them. Okay, so I'm going to line my planter up here on the edge of this field. Let it go, start planting. Now this is a long-term investment. This is not something you want to do in the short haul, because it takes a while. It takes a long time to plant these, but it takes longer for them to grow, like months, more than a year. So probably be a couple of game years for this to grow enough that you're going to harvest them. But they're all lined up, and it's a great way to make some cash if you're into forestry, especially if you use a big forestry machine or one of the mods that allows you to quickly, harvest trees. So that's it. This is how you plant them. This is just going to go down the rows there and plant trees distance apart. When it's done, it's going to come back the other way, and it's going to plant trees. Very, very easy. All right, let me show you another way. Suppose you're on a map like Silver Run Forest, and you're harvesting trees, or maybe dead wood, and you're harvesting trees that are already there, but you want to replace them because it's on your land, and you want to come back later and harvest them again later. So let me show you that coming right up. Okay, now if you're in a forest and that you own, and you're cutting down trees and you want them to replenish once you clear an area, you're going to need this gizmo right here. It's part of the Platinum Expansion Pack. Let me show you on the menu. Once again, we go to Forestry Equipment, and that's the planter we use for a field right there. And you're going to go on over it until you see this gizmo there, the Ricetech SKB 240. It costs $67,500. Press in on the right joystick on this one, and it's going to show you what you get. Now these are different than the other tree saplings, so we're going to purchase these. They're smaller, but they cost more. Okay, now this piece of equipment by itself doesn't do much, and it doesn't hook to a tractor. You're going to need this gizmo. So let me show you on the menu again. If you go to vehicles under forestry, so forestry machines right here, and here they are right here. This is the one we have. There's two Volvo ones. One's just bigger than the other. This one costs $260,000. Okay, the Volvo EC250DL has 187 horsepower, scrolls along at 6 miles an hour. It is slow. They're both slow. So anyway, so that's the piece of equipment here. Now, when you purchase this, let me just show you. When you purchase or lease this, you have 3 configurations. It comes with that grappling container, and then you have this thing. You want the fast coupler, and that's what you see there. The fast coupler, no extra charge for it. But be sure you get that or your attachment is not going to attach. Okay, so we have the fast coupler model. You get in there and you approach this thing from the end right there where the hoses are. Okay, we're going to pull up here and connect this. There you go. Okay, now we have our saplings over there. We're going to load those. And then we'll be ready to go plant some trees. Okay, you can see they're popping in there. As the little wheel thing rolls around. And the whole thing should fit. So use that whole pallet and fill up this little rotation thing. There you go. All right, let me go show you how it works. Okay, one thing I need to mention, let's go back to the forestry menu for a second. When you're buying these planters that plant trees, okay, either one, and you go to buy the saplings for it, you get a choice there to the top right there. You can see spruce, I bought spruce, pine, stone pine, birch. Be careful there because some of these you cannot, well, most of these you cannot harvest with the tree harvester, okay? They're just for look. So if you want to plant them and just look at them, that's fine, or cut them down with a chainsaw. But pine and spruce are okay. Probably the stone pine. You can all harvest them. So before you plant an entire field, be sure you're planting the right kind of tree. Also, spruce are a little bit bigger than pine, so you need a little larger tree harvester if you're using that instead of a chainsaw. So just wanted to mention that real quick. Okay, you can see our trees there he's planting. He's still going. Okay, now, as I mentioned, if you have a forest and you want to replant some trees that you've harvested on some land that you own, you're going to use this piece of equipment right here, this big Volvo. And what I want to show you, normally you're doing it in the grass or a field, you know, where your tree was, and it's going to be grassy, but it's hard to see. So I'm just going to do it in this field so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to do it the incorrect way first. Okay, if this isn't quite level, you try to lower this. All right, see on the top right there it says, if you hold in on the LB button, it says plant tree A. It's going to give me an error message because my thing is not in contact with the ground very well. So I want to raise that back up, stir it off. Okay, be sure it's level, and then lower it to the ground. Still not quite level, I don't think. Okay, raise it back up a little bit, square it off, lower it down. Boom, you hear a little noise. It just planted a tree. So I'm going to raise this up, and you should see a little tree there. And there you go. And that's it. That's why I didn't do it in the grass. You can hardly see it, but that's going to grow into a very large tree. All right, now suppose you wanted to just plant some trees for looks, or you could even cut them down later, but what you're going to do is go to the construction menu, over to landscaping, and over to trees. Okay, and then you're going to have a choice of what they are. Elm trees, these are mostly for looks. You can plant a tree like that. Okay, you can pick different ones. Young pine. Maybe you just want to dress up your farm. Okay, another one there. And there you go. So that's the third way to plant trees. Third way to plant trees. So you got the field method right here. You got this method for one tree at a time that you've taken down in a forest. And then you got this method. It's quick and dirty. It's more expensive, but if you're dressing up your farm and want it to look a certain way, you can use the landscaping method. And that's it in a nutshell. So I'm Farmer Teacher. Give us a thumbs up. Share this with your farming buddies. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.